Welcome, Hornets, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be working on average values as we review average values worksheet number 3, working with the calculator and working without the calculator. So in numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8, which is what you see up here, we're going to be using the average value of the function f of x over the interval using our formulas and doing it by hand. Numbers 10 through 16, that's this group of problems here. We're going to be using our calculator to make sure that we can use that tool. Alrighty, here we go, starting with number 2. So in this, I'm going to start by setting up my integral, and I'm going from -5 to -3. I'm going to put 1 over x minus 1 dx, and I'm dividing by -3 minus -5. This is going to give me a 1 half, and that 1/2 I'm going to put in front. So I have 1/2 the integration from -5 to -3 of 1 over x minus 1 dx. Now this is our natural logarithmic rule that we're going to apply. So we are looking at 1/2 the natural log of the absolute value of x minus 1 from -5 to -3. We're going to start by putting in the top number first, and this is going to give us a -4. Because of the absolute value, we're going to end up having a +4, and if you wish, you can drop the absolute value after you change it from the negative. We then have the minus 1/2, and we're looking at the natural log of -5 minus 1 is -6, and the absolute value makes it a +6. Now, this is one possible answer. If you're in the AP class, you have to expect that they are going to combine these things using the properties of logarithms. Since I have a negative and both are a natural log or the log of the same index, I can factor out the 1/2 and make this the natural log of 4 divided by 6, which I reduce to 1/2 the natural log of 2/3. So this is one possibility. Or we could write it as the natural log of the square root of 2/3. Now, for AP Calculus, it's going to be one of these two answers, and for CP Calculus, it can be any of the three. Please be aware of that. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, we're now doing the integration from -2 to -1 of x squared minus 1 dx divided by -1 minus -2. Now you'll notice we get a result of a 1 in the denominator, so this is simply going to go away, and I am going to integrate normally 1/3 x cubed minus x from -2 to -1. We put in the -1 first, and we get -1/3 plus 1. We then subtract, and we plug in the -2. This is giving me -8/3 plus 2. Now it's a plus 2 because of that double negative, just like we had a plus 1 here. And now we're going to add like terms. And what you'll notice is that I end up getting a -2/3. And I have an additional, let's see, let's make sure I get that. Oh, +2/3. And I have a double negative, and I have an additional 2/3. So my answer turns out to be 4/3 when I add them together. That's number 4. Number 6. Once again, set it up. We're going from 1 to 4. We're going to have 4 minus 1 in the denominator. The negative moves out front. We have 1 over x dx. Rewrite it as -1/3. The integration, 1 to 4. Please remember, any fraction that we get here, it is a fraction. After all, it's 1 over 3, and I can move it in front of the integral. This is our natural logarithmic rule again. So we are looking at -1/3 natural log absolute value of x from 1 to 4. Now when we do this, we get -1/3 the natural log of 4 minus double negative +1/3 natural log of 1, but the natural log of 1 is 0, and my answer is simply negative 1/3 the natural log of 4. Now we can rewrite this as the natural log of the cubed root. That's what the 1/3 represents, and the negative makes it a 1/4. So that's another possible answer right there. This is using the laws of powers, and is usually only seen in the AP calculus as opposed to the CP calculus, which would leave it unsimplified. Number 8, the integration from negative 2 to 1, 2x squared minus 1 dx divided by 1 minus negative 2. Once again, the double negative occurs, giving me a 3, creating a 1/3 in front of the integral. And I'm now at the fundamental theorem of calculus. So we're looking at 2/3, so I have the 1/3 out in front. I have 2/3 x cubed minus x from negative 2 to 1. We're going to start by plugging in the 1, and we're going to have 1/3, and we have 2/3 minus 1, and we have minus 1/3. We're plugging this in, and we get negative 16/3. And be careful, I'm running out of room, so I have a plus 2 when I put it in. This is giving me 1/3 times negative 1/3 minus 1/3, and I have to be careful because I have a negative 10/3. This is going to give me 1/9, negative 1/9. Double negative makes a positive 10/3. 10/9, and when I add, I get 9/9 for 1. So my answer is 1. We're now going to do numbers 10, 12, 14, and 16 using our calculator. So please get your calculator out and follow along with me. We're going to start by working with alpha y equals to get the fraction. In the numerator, I want you to hit math 9 to get the integral. We're going from negative 3 up to negative 1. We're putting in our function, x squared plus 2x plus 2. Whoops, let me get rid of that. And then we go dx divided by negative 1 minus negative 3. Hit enter, and we get 7/3. So my answer is 7/3. Now, if you wish to find the decimal, please remember that if you wish to find the decimal, you can simply hit math, decimal, and hit enter. And it will convert it into a decimal for you to find. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 12, please. Number 12, we're going to start with alpha y equals to get the fraction, math 9 to get the integral. We put in the 0 to 2. Those are our limits of integration. We have our x squared minus x plus 1 dx. And don't forget to put 2 minus 0 in the denominator. Hit enter, and you get 4/3. So our next answer for 12 is 4/3. Now remember, the issue with this is just practice. It just requires you to practice this and get good at it. Here we go again. Alpha y equals to get our fraction, math 9 for the integral, 2 to 3 are the limits of integration. We put in the integrand, negative x squared plus x plus 1. Oh, that's 11. Dx, and then we have 3 minus 2. We hit enter, and we get negative 17/16. Negative 17/6. Ah, wonderful words, aren't they fun? Sorry if I confused you there. That is a negative 17/6. Here we go to number 16. Once again, we're following the same steps. So we're going to start with alpha y equals to get the fraction. We do math 9 to create the integral. We put in -1 to 0 for our limits of integration. The integrand goes in the parenthesis as -x squared plus 1 dx, and the denominator is 0 minus -1. We hit enter, and we get 2/3. And this was average value worksheet number 3, evens only. I hope this has helped. Please remember, if you do have comments or concerns or you have suggestions, please put them in the comments and add a comment. If you do find this was a good tool, please click like so that I know I'm doing a good job. Thank you very much. Please be well and be safe, and we will see everybody very soon. Be kind to each other, Hornets, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.